I'm a social worker, and I must say it fits a lot into sort of making the anxiety that the six carries worse. And the kind of nature of a six is that they're based on anxiety and driven by the fact that everything will always go wrong, and a feeling that everything will always go wrong.
I'm a certified coach. I work with people from a variety of backgrounds, mainly leaders and educators in corporates and so on, as well as non-governmental sector. I think in terms of my sixness, in terms of bringing that into the workspace, I find I'm a deeply curious person. I like to think of myself bringing the gifts that sixes have of inquiry, of searching for meaning, of asking questions that matter, and then being prepared to provide compassionate listening and sort of a grounded openness to people, to be able to make them comfortable to share who they are and to understand themselves better and to grow themselves better as human beings and wherever they may find themselves.
Relationship, the thing that drives me is anxiety. I am a stress junkie. My sense of working out who I am through my life is that I've worked out that stories that are this big, I make into this big, because I'm quite convinced it's all going to go wrong. So I am the head person who thinks and thinks and thinks and analyzes things to death and is convinced that it's just going to go wrong. Stressing out before it's actually gone wrong, worrying about every single thing that's going to happen before it happens.
Yeah, I think thinking is a big part of my life. If I look at my journey through, from high school days into my career at university and so on, I've always been a person more drawn to the intellectual space, felt more comfortable in the cognitive than anywhere else, and I think my history of employment demonstrates that. It's always been aligned in some way to education or to the academia, so I'm very comfortable in that space, and I find that although I can resonate with the other centers within the Enneagram, the heart as well as the gut and body, thinking is where I'm more comfortable.
Okay, well, I could look at, if I give an example of what I've been doing in my life lately that really feeds into the kind of worst of what a six is that I've been building, and we've had renovations, and I know a lot of people tell me renovations are bad, but for me it felt like a mountain. And it was a sense of every single day I used to go home before I arrived with this big knot in my stomach because I was convinced they would have done something wrong in the building, and of course they had as well. So I think I drove them crazy, and they all even started to joke about Tanya. As she walked in the door, she's the stress junkie. And literally, what is the positive about being a number six is you always check your bases so much that actually things don't go wrong in the end. Because I would walk in 100 times and ask the builder, has he done this, has he done that? Are you sure you've checked the roof is here? This roof doesn't look flat. That actually you become very thorough. And can be quite good at managing things and project managing, because you don't leave any bases unturned. And skeptical, skeptic that they're actually going to get it right. So you check it 100 times. So you do drive people crazy that perhaps are working for you, but on the other hand, things get done properly. And you're very thorough as a person. I think it could drive you to be very thorough. But I can say I lost 5 kilograms of weight just building, because I was just so worried that this thing was all going to come right, and that the house wasn't going to fall down on us before the end of it.
I think my underlying motivation is the need to avoid surprises or uncertainty, or the fear of the unknown maybe sometimes plays a big part. And so I find myself far more comfortable knowing what to expect and to be prepared for it. And anything that plunges me into situations where there's a little bit more stress involved, I'll try to avoid that as much as possible. So I think the need for security, for meaning, for purpose in a broader sense, but just in different situations, just to feel that I'll be comfortable enough to be present and not to worry about too many things.
I think being a six is quite hard work. You get often misunderstood by people. You're not trying to be so hard. It's actually just that you have a very genuine sense of anxiety that drives you. I think for myself as a number 6 through my life, I've learned how to contain the anxiety more, because as you grow up, you realize that you yourself are exaggerating and making it, you know, your sense of it is worse than it actually is. And that's the lesson for a 6, is to actually realize that it's often not as bad as you think it's going to be. And when you have a little bit of faith, things actually, you can relax a bit. So it's putting it into perspective. And friendship can work. Friendship can help to sort of say, hold on, Tanya, you just, you know, you're seeing the picture so badly. Remember this happened last time and it went fine. And, you know, so you need to affirm yourself and get affirmation, and yeah, things can be okay.
I think in the workspace, generally, I find myself more of a structured person, happy with order and knowing that I can have enough time to take care of things and prepare for the different tasks that I'm invited to be part of or to participate in. And I think I generally appreciate people respecting the contribution I can make through ideas that I share and so on. Just being able to trust me with the things that I have to share, and to show a sense of curiosity in what I share, as much as I have that sense of curiosity in them in terms of what they share.
Yeah, it was quite a hard thing for me to understand when I first established I was a 6, because it has this whole loyalty thing. And there is a part of me that doesn't believe in being loyal, because your friends will let you down. And eventually you do feel friends let you down, because you're so ready for when they're going to do something wrong, because you think everybody's going to let you down. But I actually think the loyalty is a part of building up your base. Number 6s make sure they have base, they listen to authority, they try and do things right, they build up friendships, they work at friendships, because they want everything to be working so that they can feel safe. And it's the same as you would build up friendships, you would build up your financial base, you would build up your security base, you will never go without a medical aid, you know, you want to make sure there's lots of stuff in place. And I think that's, you fit into the system. You don't want to do things wrong, because you do buckle to systems and loyalties and work hard. I think 6s generally work very hard at work. They're very anxious that they might do something wrong and be fired the next day, you know. Yeah. So I think that's a part of developing friendships and making sure you're there.
Well, I think 6s are generally people that scan environments looking for a sense of danger, and I suspect throughout my life there's been a sense of caution. You generally find yourself risk averse, and so you wouldn't easily step into situations that maybe threaten the sense of security in your life. And I'm learning, though, as I've begun to understand myself better, that being present, being more relaxed and comfortable in my body, which is always not very easy for 6s, and also just trust in my heart has been the sort of balancing thing for the 6, which is often in the head space and so on. So I found that quite a good thing for me in terms of my own journey.